teaser trailer for Fiat Alvarez's Alien Romulus dropped today, and a week or so back a bunch of leaks dropped. And from what I can tell by the teaser trailer, I think the leaks are fairly accurate. And I'm going to be discussing them, but what are my initial thoughts? My initial thoughts are this has a lot of potential. I do think that they're going to take a lot of story elements from William Gibson's unused script for Alien 3, as it seems to be set on an orbital space station where experiments are conducted on the xenomorph by Will and Yutani. Now, my main concern is, and I do love Fiat Alvarez's work on the Evil Dead franchise, is that it's going to be more horror than sci-fi. I think the Alien franchise has always balanced, for the most part, has always balanced horror and sci-fi. But Alvarez is known for kind of very gritty, gory kind of horror. Obviously with his Evil Dead movie and Don't Breathe. I think that they're fantastic movies, they're fantastic suspense-filled horror. So that element, I think he'll knock it out of the park. But I just hope that the blood, guts and gore isn't going to overshadow the actual science fiction element of the story. The trailer itself, it's very quick. I think it's just over a minute long. And we get a look at the space station that the primary kind of plot takes place. And the aesthetic is very much the used future aesthetic of Alien. The story itself is actually set in between Alien and Aliens, if you didn't know. It's set between the 57 years where Ripley is missing. So obviously the technology is going to be very similar to Aliens. In fact, there's a couple of nods to Alien Isolation in that some of the corridors have the same kind of paneling and stuff that the Sevastopol space station had. And even in one of the production stills, you can see one of the phones that you have to save your game at in the background. That I like that, but at the end of the day, like, nostalgia does not make a good story, and I'm hoping that we do get a good, engaging plot with this movie. But yeah, guys, I am going to discuss the leaks and how the trailer has kind of verified a lot of them and some of the other kind of elements in the story from the leaks that kind of gives me pause. So if you don't want any spoilers, stop right here, because I am going to be going into the leaks that dropped last week. And as I said before, from the looks of the trailer, they look fairly accurate. So if you don't want spoilers, turn the video off right now and don't say I didn't warn you.
The emergency disrupt system is now activating.
So yeah, guys, going from what I know from the leaks and what this teaser trailer has released, I'm 90% sure that what was released last week is accurate. So what is the plot? Well, it seems to center around Kaylee Spaney and her friends, who are a bunch of young colonists on this backwater planet that's kind of a shithole. I'm wondering, is this planet actually another nod to the William Gibson story, in that it isn't the kind of best colony to be living on because it's a UPP colony. If you don't know, in the expanded universe of Aliens, the UPP are the opposite to the kind of corporation colonies, as in they're more of a communist kind of system, that they're kind of a federation of different communist countries, and they don't have the same backing as the colonies. So people who live on the UPP colonies are just having to deal with a lot more harsher conditions. And this could be something akin to people trying to escape over the Berlin Wall. You have Spaney and her friends essentially deciding to steal a ship. And once they steal the ship, they realize that if they want to make any distance between them and the planet they escaped from, they're going to need cryotubes. So essentially, they come by Romulus Station. I think that's the name of the actual space station. Romulus Station, which is a kind of Weyland-Yutani R&D station that's out in the back of Beyonds, because obviously they're up to nefarious goings on, and they decide to break into the station in order to steal cryopods. So if they want to travel that distance, they'll have cryotubes to stop themselves from aging rapidly. So they board the station, and apparently they're first attacked by a horde of facehuggers. The facehuggers seem to have been redesigned to have barbs on their kind of fingers, legs, I guess. And again, it seems that there's another nod to more kind of expanded media, because the scene from the trailer reminds me of a scene in Aliens Defiance where a character is trapped in a hallway with a bunch of facehuggers. So that's a cool kind of nod to the comic. As the characters progress and the survivors progress, they end up encountering a synthetic that is the same model as Ash from Aliens. Yes, that's the other thing that gives me pause. They seem to be bringing back other elements from the original Alien movie, and this Hyperdyne synthetic is called Rook. So I think that's a nod to the fact that Lance Henriksen's character is called Bishop, and the synthetics are maybe named after chess pieces rather than human names like David. Maybe in the future they kind of realized, maybe we shouldn't give these synthetics human names.
You were too human, too idiosyncratic, thinking for yourself. Made people uncomfortable.
So yeah, essentially this Hyperdyne model is the same model as Ash, and as a result it will have to look and sound like Ash. So they're going to use AI technology to copy the face and the voice. Now, I'm hoping that maybe we get a practical effect more akin to the way that Lance Henriksen's likeness was used in Alien 3, that maybe they find a damaged version of Rook, the Ash-esque synthetic, and his face is damaged and his voice is damaged. I would prefer that than rather a kind of, Rogue One Tarkin, bad kind of face job. But I don't know, even if the characters came by a kind of recording or a hologram or something of the character explaining what's going on. So it turns out Rook actually was involved in a project called Prometheus. It's obviously a nod to the Ridley Scott prequel, and he managed to reverse engineer the black goo from the corpse or the body of the alien Ripley blew out the airlock. Yes, that's another thing that kind of makes me kind of go, really? Apparently Weyland-Yutani found the body of the alien that Ripley ejected from the airlock in the first movie, and due to Rook's meddling managed to reverse engineer the xenomorph DNA and formulate the same kind of material that was in both Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Again, I don't know how I feel about them bringing back the Ash synthetic, or the fact that Weyland-Yutani recovered the xenomorph from the first movie. I think it's nostalgia bait, and that works sometimes, and don't get me wrong, I'm a fan, I'm a sucker for nostalgia, but something to that level, I think that's a cheap gimmick if done wrong, and unless it really works with the plot, I can see it backfiring. The other elements I heard from the leaks apparently is we are going to get a human-like xenomorph. Not like that fucking abomination from Alien Resurrection, but again, something akin to the William Gibson xenomorph that was featured in the story. Whereas, rather than a chest burster or a blood burster or whatever, essentially the xenomorph grows from the human skeleton and pulls off the human skin, a body burster per se, where you have a fully formed xenomorph underneath the human flesh. And again, if done right, that could be good. I genuinely think that that could be good. The William Gibson script is a cool concept, but is going to be very tricky to pull off if done wrong. And I have a feeling if Alvarez has done his homework, he could pull it off. I just hope we don't get a movie that buries the sci-fi underneath guts and gore. I hope we get something that is conducive to the franchise. I am under no illusion. I don't think we're ever going to get a movie that will top Alien or Aliens. But if Alvarez has done his homework, this should be a good movie. There's other nods as well. I noticed that Spaney's character is carrying what appears to be a burst rifle from Alien Fireteam Elite. I've gotten into an argument with someone already over this who says it looks nothing like it. But the length of the barrel and the carrier handle makes me think it looks like a burst rifle, but I don't know. So yeah, guys, that is my thoughts and my analysis of the leaks and the trailer. But yeah, guys, have you seen the trailer? Let me know what you thought of it below. And yeah, are you looking forward to Alien Romulus? Let me know that too in the comments below. And yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.